Everybody. Welcome back to Heaven and Health YouTube channel. I am your host, Coach JoJo Tabareth, and this week we are talking with Mary Lesrontel from Mary Loves Freedom, her YouTube channel, and we are talking about financial health. And so last month we talked a little bit more. This month we're going to get into our relationship with money. So what do you mean by a relationship with money? We normally don't think about it that way. I never thought of myself as having a relationship with an inanimate object.
Exactly. And that's part of our problem, right? So if you think about what do you do when you have a relationship with somebody? You spend time together. You get to know each other, right? And so we most of the time don't spend time with our money and we really don't get to know our money. And what I have found, and I'm a living example of it myself, when I first realized it, I was kind of ashamed and embarrassed. I'm like, shouldn't this be like adulting 101 that I should already know this? But I have been shocked at how many people this is true for, and I am so not alone. So, and especially with younger and younger generations, it's even um, more predominant because in today's society, like technology is a good thing until it's not, right, Jojo? I'm stealing one of your Jojoisms. Because it's true. Okay, technology is great. We have so many tools these days that we can use to manage our money, to bank online, to transfer money to somebody, to swipe a card, right? But guess what? All of those things detach us from the actual transaction. I can
Mm.
swipe my card and buy something. I really don't see the impact of it. I can put my paycheck going in on direct deposit and all my bills out on auto pay. I never see what goes in. I never see what goes out. I just like, oh yeah, there's money left. Sure, I can do that. I'm not really looking at my whole financial landscape at any point
Wow.
in time. And I've been this way. My testimony is that I lived a life of struggle with money for so many years and then finally had breakthrough and broke through things spiritually and in my mindsets, which allowed a lot of money to start coming in. But guess what? Everything went in, everything went out, the bills were paid. Oh, there's money left. Great, let's do this. I mean, I paid everything on time. Like I did the best I could with a lot of money. But you know what? I could have done things so much different. And the next phase the Lord brought me into was learning how to steward that money well and have a relationship with it and spend time with my money so I understand what I have and where it's going.
Wow, that is so powerful. So our behavior, you're saying, is a good indicator of our
Yep.
relationship with money.
Yep. Absolutely. So one thing I think we forget, the primary thing that we forget is who owns the money. Psalm 24:1, the earth is the Lord's and everything in it, right? We are stewards and managers of everything that he has. He entrusts us with things. You know, Luke 16:10 and 11, who can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with very much, right? It is a mindset to understand that we are stewards of the money that we have. That is going to be a huge game changer because right there it says, okay, Lord, you've given this to me. How do you want me to manage this? How do you want me to spend this? And ultimately, it comes down to God
Right.
owns it, we manage it, wisdom multiplies it, generosity releases it, and faithfulness sustains it. That's what the faithfulness to having that relationship with your money is what's going to allow it to be sustained and to never run out.
Yeah, wow. So yeah, technology is a good thing until it isn't.
Yeah.
It really is. And so it sounds like here, what's, that's true here. And using technology can definitely help us with money management and things like that, like you said, but it can also hinder us.
Yes, it can. We have a responsibility to still understand and know what's going on, even if you use those tools. So having one place where you manage all of your money and see it all in one place is a great idea. There's a lot of different tools. If you want to reach out to me, I can talk to you about that as well, what I use. But basically, like Proverbs 21:5, the plans of the diligent lead surely to abundance. We have to be diligent and have prudent stewardship, meaning that we are not I used to think that meant like I have to give up everything. I have to live so sacrificially. I can't spend anything on anything. I have to live like,
Yeah.
it doesn't mean that. You can budget whatever you want to budget. And there's that word budget. I used to just cringe at the thought of budget or managing money or any of that. I hated it. I avoided it. The bills came in. I put everything on, here's the technology part again. I put everything on, what do you call it?
Auto
E-
pay?
no, when you don't get your bills in the mail and they come, in the just in you just get an electronic statement.
Right.
And so you can just go into your bank account, look at your statements anytime, but they never show up. We never see it. We're never looking at. And I'm not saying you have to have the paper copies sent to you, but I am saying we have a responsibility to look every month at where did my money go? What did I spend it on? Was anything I did wasteful? Could I have managed this differently? Like, and understand what's happening with our money. So, some other scriptures, Proverbs 27 says, be sure you know the condition of your flocks, right? We should be counting things. We should be measuring things. We should be paying attention. And sometimes I think, well, for me anyway, because of my parents' poverty mindset when I was a kid and such a focus on spending the least amount and pinching every penny, I auto-corrected to the complete opposite rebellious behavior that said, I am not living like that. I am not going to be like that. I am not going to sit and watch every penny and pinch every penny, right? And that's good. I don't need to pinch every penny, but I do have a responsibility to watch where my money's going. And I guess because my dad was always watching money and focused on money, he was always looking at the stock market, he was always doing these things. And I was like, oh my gosh, like that's all he thinks about is money. I didn't even want to think about money at all. So we have to learn that we have to be responsible, budgeting, planning, having a place where we can see our finances is spiritual. It's a God honoring thing.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. And I don't think we think about it that way. And so this is great information, really makes you think, but how do we do this? Okay. How do we start? And then also, if you can give us your challenge for this week.
Absolutely. Well, it starts first of all with, you have to sit down and put it on paper. You have to, or on a spreadsheet or whatever, however you want to look at it to at least see what's going on in your finances and know how much are you spending a month on food, on gas, on things like that. And it's funny, I do financial analysis with people and they, often will have to reschedule to another meeting because on that one, they're like, gosh, I have no idea what my monthly expenses are. I don't have a clue. Like, well, do you have any idea like how much they know how much they spend on debt, right? And so that's another conversation that we talk about is that debt actually shifts us away from God. So we have to be careful because today's society, look, I've had seasons in my life where I have been strapped in debt. I have made like I flipped a property and it went bad. I went like $80,000 in debt. It was horrible, right? And trying to pay that off. My credit score tanked. But do you know what I get in the mail all the time during that season? I get all of these credit card offers, right? So the temptation is out there to go into debt.
Right.
But the Lord says, let no debt remain outstanding. It is his desire for you to be the one who lends the money and not the one who borrows the money. So we have to, the only way I'm going to manage, how do you think the bank has money to lend you? Because they're managing, they're looking at every penny that's coming in and they're
Mhm.
deciding they're taking that money and they're doing something with it to make money. We get money and we often have a habit of just spending. We don't look at taking that money to make money. So my challenge for everybody would be to sit down and actually like the best way to do it because you'll forget things. I did when I first started, I had to print out, go find it because you may not even know where to find it right now. Go into your bank online, find your bank statements wherever you use your debit card the most or credit cards or whatever, and sit down and make a list or type up a spreadsheet or whatever of everything you spend in a month. Okay. Have category, food, whatever, gas, electric, water, car insurance, pet stuff. It's funny how when people do finally bring me a number of their monthly expenses, I'll usually ask a few more questions. Well, do you have pets? Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, okay, let's add another 50 to $75 a month because, dog food and grooming and
It
okay.
it is amazing
Yeah,
people don't
we
realize what they're
forget.
spending on.
We totally don't
We
know. And
don't,
we don't think of that as being a part of our budget. We
right?
just think of the automatic bills that auto pay, the car insurance, the life insurance, the whatever. And do you have life insurance, right? So these are things like, are you planning for your future? I can say, I did not in my younger years, and I wish I would have. Look, and I'm just going to tell you, it's rebellion in our heart. When I was 18, my dad sat me down and said, if you put $25 in an account and never take it out and continue to do that till you're 65, this is how much money you're going to have. I am not going to be like my dad and sit here and be all about money all the time and putting all this, it was this rebellion thing because of this wrong thinking process. And it caused me to not even want to look at my money or manage my money. But I'll tell you, that is key. The Lord showed me this too. When somebody has a baby, they don't just like get pregnant, carry the baby for 9 months, bring the baby home and say, oh, where am I going to put this baby to bed? How am I going to feed this baby? I haven't even thought about it. Well, okay, well, I guess I'll try this. I'll just wing it and oh, it'll probably work out. I hope it works out, right? No, you have to plan for that baby. You do some research, you prepare the nursery, you have a place to receive that baby.
For
And the Lord,
9 months you
yeah,
plan.
right.
Yeah.
And the Lord told me you need a place to receive wealth. If
Wow.
you don't have a structure to bring it in, it will come in and it will go right out the cracks. And there will be so many opportunities for the enemy to come in. Oh, don't even get me started on compound interest. Okay, I forget whose quote it is. It says, those who don't understand compound interest are doomed to pay it, but those who
Mm.
do are destined to earn it. And so late in my life, I've come to understand that even mortgages, we are paying way more in interest than we need to. I've found ways to pay off mortgages and everything in a third of the time without even having extra income, without refinancing, without any of that, if you just learn and understand. So just like learning about having a baby, if you start learning about these things, you don't have to give all that money to the bank. That's money that you could be investing in your retirement, investing in your future generations, legacy wealth, right? So make that list. That's my challenge. Sit down and figure out exactly what you spend money on every month. And as always, if you would like to talk about that, once you have that list, what do you recommend I do next? You can reach out on my website, email me at maryloveslifeministries@gmail.com. I'd love to get on a 30-minute Zoom with you and give you some next steps because we have to start finding financial freedom God's way, right? It's not just the budgeting. It's not just the knowing what's in your bank. It's the spiritual components behind it and the managing of the money all together at one time.
Right. And that is very individual, just like everything else I talk about with
Yeah.
physical health.
Mhm.
And, you are a very unique creature and your situation is very different. And so I bet you didn't even know that you could do that with your mortgage,
Oh no. Are you kidding?
right?
This is the third, I'm a third property, third mortgage I've had in my life. And I'm now paying this one down much faster. But had I known that, like over the years,
Mhm.
how much money could I have been investing in my future? The goal is to let your money make money for you. That is the goal.
And that is also going to feed into all of the other pillars of health that I talk about, because if you have financial stress, ladies and gentlemen, it is going to mess with your physical health. It
Mm,
is going to mess with your spiritual health and your emotional health. It's all interconnected. And
totally.
this part of our four pillars are things that most people do not ever think about.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, reach out to Mary. She's amazing. She's also the sweetest thing on the planet of the earth. So, yeah, it's great. So, thank you for coming on and sharing this with us. We
You're
really
welcome.
needed to hear this, and we will be back with you next month. And I will see you all next week.